technically this is 2 orders. I recently went in store, as you can see, and then this is an online order that I've been meaning to share with you guys for some time now. So we have a lot to go through. I think I'm gonna start with the online order since that has a lot of items that I've been using. I've tested out. Most of them were all new to me. With the first being the Haus Labs foundation. You guys, I have not been able to put this down since I picked it up. I was dying to try it. I am so glad I got it. It's easily one of my most favorite foundations that I've ever used, ever tried. I absolutely love the coverage, the formula, the shade match is really good. I have shade 220, I believe. Yeah, 220 light, medium, warm. It is so beautiful, and I don't know if you can see the line, but I've used till about here, which is actually pretty good. I think I got this like end of November, beginning of December, and considering I was sick for a good majority because I was in my first trimester, I've used quite a bit of this. Like, this might be the fastest I ever have gone through a foundation. I have it on today, so hopefully you all think my makeup looks good. I personally do. I feel like this foundation just does not let me down. It always looks good every single time. I feel like it lays really flawlessly on the skin. Like I mentioned, the shade match has been super good for me, especially when I have a little self tanner on my face. It is like, it looks exactly like skin. I didn't already mention it. It layers well with all of my products that I use. It doesn't get cakey at all. I've just been so happy with this because I think the main reason being it gives amazing coverage, but it feels light on the skin and it looks light, and I really have liked that. So I can't say enough good things about this. I do know, based on what I've seen, it's like a love-hate product. Either it really works out for people and people love it, or they really dislike it. The people who have disliked it, from what I understand, are the girlies with oily skin. I don't have oily skin. I have pretty normal skin. It's sensitive. But in terms of normal, dry, oily, I'm usually right in the middle and I sit at normal. So keep that in mind. But I really love this. I could rant about it for hours. Okay, 2 products that I've also opened up and tried but were new to me are these Givenchy powders. I got the setting powder and then I also picked up the blush. So I'll start off with the setting powder. I got the Prism Libre in shade 3, which is rose. This is a matte finish and enhanced radiance loose powder. There's 4 different shades in here, and I kept seeing this all over social media, all over TikTok. And it looked like it just set the under eye so flawlessly. I still love my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but especially during pregnancy and like during winter, I found like my under eyes have been a little bit more dry than usual. So I wanted to try something else out, and I love this. It is flawless. I personally like setting with a little powder puff under my eye. That has worked best. I haven't really used this with a damp beauty blender, and I have not used this on the majority of my face. I really only use this on my under eye, which honestly is kind of nice because this is so expensive. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm gonna have this for a long time since I only use it right here, but my under eyes have looked flawless. They haven't felt dried. They haven't looked cakey at all. Every now and then I have some bags going on and it might crease a tad, but it's not the powder's fault. I have used this when I'm in tip-top shape and my makeup always looks flawless. I also have this on right now. The only downside that I just don't love about this or the blush is really the packaging. I just find it kind of annoying. I wish that it was similar to the Laura Mercier where it was all one shape, if that makes sense. I think this product ends up being annoying for me because it has like the square box, but then it has the round top up here for where the product comes out, and then top is like where you would pour the product out is also round. But I don't know, I just think like when you go to pour it back in, because of the square edges, it ends up kind of going everywhere and it's a little bit messy. It's a lot less seamless to pour the powder back in than if you're using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, like packaging and top. So that's the only thing I don't love. Like you can see I have so much powder around the edges. I'm always like scrambling when I use this to like try to make sure I get as much powder back in to the container, but like it's kind of a pain. I just don't love that, and especially for how expensive it is. I don't know if anybody else has this and feels the same, but I really wish they could revamp that. The product itself though is really pretty. And then I picked up the blush. The blush looks stunning. This is in shade, this is their Prism Libre blush in shade 2. This is like the pretty bright pinks. It's just honestly so stunning. I can't deal. The product itself is beautiful, but I don't know that this is my favorite blush formula, like a loose powder blush. One, because the packaging again is just kind of annoying, and then two, just picking the powder up with like a brush and then applying it, it is obviously a little bit more messy than if you're just using a pressed powder blush, a baked blush, anything like that. But the color, the pigment, how it lays on the skin, it is so beautiful. So also curious if any of you have this, what you think on the loose powder formula of this. I hope that makes sense. Like, I do like the product. It's just a loose powder isn't really ideal, but it's beautiful. Moving on, this was a restock. I feel like I've shared this a few times before, but I love the Kosas concealer. I use the shade 3W and I am about out. I have just a little bit left in my current open tube, but I love this concealer so much. It lays really well on the skin. I think it brightens up the under eye. I love the coverage that it gives. It never feels too heavy. So I just think this product is really, really great. I especially love it for or during warmer weather too. Just because I tend to, when it's really hot out, like I want coverage still, but I like lighter products. So I don't know, this has just always worked really, really well for me, and it layers well with any of the powders that I've used. It looks pretty with the Givenchy powder. It also looks pretty with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. And I've just had a really good experience with this. So when I realized I was about to run out, I ordered this and I was like, I can't go without it. So yeah, it's just been a super trusty concealer, which you can't go wrong with. Grabbed the Kerastase Genesis mask. This is one of the, actually this is the second Kerastase product I've ever used. The first that I've ever used is their overnight like leave-in treatment. But I have heard such good things. One of my friends who I follow, I mean, I think I follow her on every platform that she's on, Kelsey, her handle is usually Rosalie Rouge. I think she has such gorgeous hair, and she had shared in one of her posts that she used this mask and how much it helped her hair, especially after like postpartum and stuff. Her hair has such nice shine to it, and it just looked gorgeous. So I decided to try this out and I picked it up. I love the smell of this. It is so luxe. It really does make my hair feel like silk. It really hydrates it. I feel like my hair just looks and feels and smells so good after I use this. I feel like I'll have it for a really long time. I've used it a few times now since picking it up. You really don't need, oh, I love the scent. You don't need a lot of product. Like, mine's still so full. And this is a bit on the pricey side. But the only downside with Kerastase products in general is they aren't necessarily free of the nasties. Like, in a perfect world, all of my hair products would be sulfate, paraben, phthalate, silicone free. And a lot of them are. I would say 90% of the hair products that I use are free of all of those things. Kerastase is not. They do have sulfates and silicones in a lot of their products. There is a lot of mixed feelings, and I don't want to say controversy, but kind of in the hair world on whether sulfates and silicones are okay and needed and necessary. Some brands and even hairstylists will argue and say like they're really not that bad for your hair and sometimes are needed to disperse product evenly, depending on what the product is. So I don't know, there's mixed reviews. I am willing to use a product ever so often with sulfates and silicones, depending on the brand and depending on what it's for. Kerastase was an exception for me. I did really want to try the brand out. So many people love it, rave about it. I don't even know if people just don't even realize that it's not like sulfate and silicone free. I have no idea. But it's always something that I check into just for my curiosity, and because I make content like this, and because I have extensions, and you really shouldn't use like silicones or sulfates on extensions. It's just not good for them. So all that to say, I love this mask, but I do kind of have to do a workaround with this. And pretty much when I use it, I am in the shower obviously, and I will section out my hair. So I really only apply this on my hair, not my extensions. So the top section of my hair and then the bottom section of my hair. I have 2 rows in, so the middle section that is sandwiched, it's not a ton of hair, but that kind of gets left out just because that's super hard to get and not like touch the extensions, which obviously I'm rinsing it out and stuff. Like I'm sure a little bit is getting on the extensions, but I'm not like smothering my extensions in this. So that was super long-winded, but I hope makes sense. I want to share though, in case that's important to anybody, the ingredients in their products. I can't remember specifically if this one has silicone sulfates both or one or the other. I would have to double check because the ingredients aren't on the back of here. But if you are willing to look past that, it is a really nice mask and I do love it and how it makes my natural hair feel. Moving right along. I had picked up this Nars blush trio. I am a sucker for blush. I love blushes so much, and I actually really like this formula. I have the full size of this. Maybe I should tell you what it even is called. This is the Afterglow Liquid Blush. These are all minis, and I will say it was a bit pricey for the size of these, but what can you do? I think it was like $30, so like $10 for one of these, but I liked the different shades in here. So I have a full size of the original in Orgasm. It is so beautiful. I really like the formula of these. I've seen some people complain that they're too sheer. I don't think so. I just think you have to be careful of the brush that you're using when you're blending it out, but I think it looks so glowy and pretty on the skin. It's one that you could layer with a powder blush over top, or you could put on top of powder and just like wear it so you have an extra glowy little pop of color on the cheeks. You could wear this with like no makeup. So many options. But in this set, it came with a mini of Orgasm, which I thought was perfect. I'm like, I will obviously use it. I love that shade. Then it comes with the shade Dolce Vita and the shade Orgasm Rush. So you guys know I'm not good at swatching, but I will swatch these just so you can have a little look-see. Really haven't played with the 2 darker shades, like the other shades that come in this, because I've just been because I wasn't feeling well the last 2 months, but this is what they look like. They're so pretty, a really good variation of color. And I mean, even though this set is a little pricey, I feel like it's worth it if you like this formula, if you like their blushes, if you just want to try something new. I say, why not? This was also a little depressing, just in the sense of I got this right before I started not feeling good, and my smells and aversions to smells really started to change. So this did not get my immediate full attention like I wanted it to when I first got it. It still very much will, but I haven't played around with it as much as I would like because of that. But I picked up the Kayali Discovery Set. I absolutely love little perfume discovery sets and samplers and things of that nature. Everyone seems to really like this brand, so I wanted to try it out. There were so many different options and different scents that came in this, so I felt like this was a great price for what it was. I think it was under $30, so I was like, absolutely, sign me up. I love that it's a little spray too. I prefer that as opposed to like a roller ball or the ones that the top just pops off and you dab. But I love perfumes. I love trying out new things. And if you're not familiar with this brand or have never checked them out, they are a bit pricey for their full-size bottles. So I just felt like this was a great way to test it out and even see if I liked it, if I would want to buy something full-size. They're very rich. They're very luxe. I feel like these scents smell expensive, and they have like a lot of like same but different in this little set. So the scents that it comes with are Vanilla, Deja Vu, Eden, Love Fest, Utopia, this is called Utopia Vanilla Cocoa, Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, Invite Only Amber, Yum Pistachio. Why did I say it like this? Pistachio Gelato. There's a lot of vanilla throughout all of these, a lot of musk, a lot of jasmine throughout all of these, a lot of amber, and a lot of them, which I all really like. So yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to play around with this, sadly, but I will report back soon. My smells and just like sense of smell is finally coming back, but I've had to lay low a bit lately. If you know, you know. And I have not been able to do like super strong perfumes and scents, but in the near future. Last thing from my online order that will kind of bridge us into what I picked up in store recently is this Patrick Ta blush that I'm sure you guys have seen all over the place. I feel like it's been all over TikTok, even Instagram, like everyone raves about these. So I finally decided to pick one up. I got this shade She's That Girl. This is, if you're not familiar, a little blush duo. It comes in a compact. It has a powder and a cream, and I thought the shade would be really pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I have not used this nearly as much as I thought I was going to, and there's really two reasons why. One, I think the shade, like, I like this, but I'm not obsessed with it. I don't love it. And two, to be honest, I would prefer for a cream blush to just be in a stick. I think it's easier to apply, and I understand for the intents and purposes of this compact, like they're a duo, they need to be together. It doesn't make sense to put the blush in a stick, but that just makes application for me so much easier than taking a brush and like dabbing it in here and then trying to apply it. It's just not my fave. So I think that's mainly why I haven't grabbed for this as much. I should have gone with my gut the first time that I ordered this, and that is, and my gut was telling me to get this shade, which is She's a Doll. So that kind of takes us into what I got in store, because I ended up grabbing this in store. I was like, you know what, let's give this another try and see if it is this shade, and I just needed a different color that kind of, I don't know, drew me in more, or if it's just the product. I forgot I took this out. So here's the new shade that I got, which again, this is She's a Doll. This is like a much brighter pink, and I love it. I don't know, I just think this will be a little bit more up my alley with what I like. Like, I don't dislike this one. I don't know, there's just something about it. Maybe it's the combo of these two that I just don't love together. I can't put my finger on it, but I think this will be the one. So I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I will report back. My goal with the in-store trip, because I like never even go in store, was to get some restocks. I just didn't want to wait to place an online order. So I needed these, the Facial Radiance pads from First Aid Beauty. I cannot go without these. I absolutely love them. I will rave about these until the end of time. They're 12 out of 10. I've repurchased them multiple times. I love being gifted them, but I don't always get gifted them, so I do have to repurchase these. And I can't go without them. They are amazing. They are pre-soaked pads. They help tone, exfoliate, brighten the skin. You could use these morning or night. I like using them at night mostly, but here's a little close-up. These pre-soaked pads, they just make everything so easy. These work so well. I notice such a difference in my skin when I use them, and it's a product for me that I'm like, as soon as I'm getting low or running out, like I have to have another one available. So I've ran out of my last jar. This comes with 60 pads. It has glycolic and lactic acids in it, and it's also safe for sensitive skin, which I do have sensitive skin. So it says you can use it twice daily if you want, but again, I typically just use it once a day, and that has worked really well for me. But if you're looking for an easy, convenient way to tone and exfoliate and brighten your skin, I would definitely recommend checking these out. As for my other restocks, of course, in store, didn't have any of them. So that was the only one that I was able to get. And then I found my way into a bunch of other things that I didn't need, but really wanted to try, with the Summer Fridays lip oil being one of them, which I am glad I was able to get this because it's sold out online. It looked so pretty. This is the Pink Dream shade. So I picked it up. I actually haven't even used it yet. But I love this color. It's so cute. And it looked really nice. Let's just try it here. I don't normally love doing first impressions, but oh, it is nice. I feel like it gives a little color, but not like too much. I obviously have a lip product on, but the formula is really comfy. I really like the formula. Great, so that's good news. But there's 4 shades of these. I just knew I would grab for the pink. Pink has my heart. So I'm glad that I was able to get this. I don't know where the box is, but I grabbed another lip product. I've been wanting to try the Makeup by Mario lipsticks. Of course, they had no shades in stock in store. Literally none, except for this one, which is Flat Iron. This is like the lightest shade that they have. This is a warm nude shade. So I picked this one up. I think the one that I really was hoping to get is the second one up from it, which is Midtown, I believe, but they didn't have that. This is still really pretty. I was worried it might pull a little bit too warm. I don't love like flat peachy orange tones on me, but this doesn't pull that way. It's actually really pretty. And if I want to go a little bit pinker, which is what I typically just like gravitate towards, it looks really nice with like a pink gloss over top. The formula itself too is super comfy. I feel like it's worn well so far, so I definitely will pick up the other shade that I've been wanting that has a little bit more pink in it, but this one is a really gorgeous nude. This is so random, but I found this and I decided to grab it. One, because I was in store, I was at the mall, and I was kind of getting grossed out anyways, like all the doors and everything I was touching. So I decided to pick up this. I have a few of these, but they weren't in my bag with me at the time, and this was a new shade, or a scent that I hadn't seen before. It's Blue Sandalwood, and I love sandalwood, so I just figured I would like it. It's a hand sanitizer, if you're not familiar, from Touchland, and it's their Power Mist, so it just spritzes right out. This one smells really good. I think this one smells the best out of all the ones that I've tried. I actually maybe have a cucumber one that smells really good too, but like this one is really nice. I don't feel like it has any weird like after smell to it. Packaging is cute too, and these are just really handy to throw in your purse or keep in your car. All of that sort of thing. They have a bunch of different scents too, if this one is not for you. This was another random little pickup, but I love Caudalie. I love having a face spray. I actually use their beauty elixir, but lately here, being pregnant, the scent of the beauty elixir is not always my favorite. Sometimes I'm like, I just don't love this right now. But I wanted to try their grape water. It's like same but different. It's just like a water that mists out, is infused with grapes. It's kind of bougie, but I don't care. I like having a product like this, especially in the morning or at night before bed. You just want a little spritz, a little refresh. I feel like this is good. I just got the travel size, and this was $12, I believe. I'm pretty sure this was $12. I felt like this was fine to try out. I didn't want to commit to the full size bottle, and it was way more expensive. I haven't used this too much yet, but I know I'm gonna be grabbing for it, and we'll see if I end up using this more than the beauty elixir, because this one doesn't really have a smell to it, which I appreciate right now. Okay, and last little thing, random things that I picked up in store were these eye masks. These are from the Sephora collection line, and I don't know, they were $4. I just figured, let's pick up something new to try, have a little self-care, indulge, treat myself. So I grabbed these. I've never tried their eye masks before, but it says you only need to put these on for like 5 minutes. I ended up getting the watermelon eye masks. This pair is for hydration and glow. Then I picked up the cucumber eye mask, which is for soothing and depuffing. There's just 1 pair each in each little packet, but for $4, I was like, you know what? It's not that expensive. Let's just try it out. So I haven't opened these up, obviously, and tried them. Maybe I will tonight, but I'll let you guys know. But all right, you guys, that is going to wrap up and conclude today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what I have gotten in lately from Sephora. I'll have everything linked down below. If you have any recommendations or suggestions, things that I should pick up and try for my next Sephora run, definitely let me know. And I'll report back on some of the products that I hadn't quite used a lot yet or really played around with. So stay tuned for that. But thank you again so much. Love you guys, and until next time. Blushing, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching.